drunk because this is going to suck. Everyone's going to fucking hate me, and they're going to throw tomatoes and everything else. And then, by the end of the night, half the crowd is swarming around you on their way out going, hey, what a great job, and this is amazing. And you're like, you can never predict, and you can never predict correctly how a show's going to go. You can't, and you can expect whatever you want. I like going in there with a negative attitude. Simply because too many times I've gone in there into any show with a cocky attitude, and I think I'm going to crush this, and you're all my bitches.
Right.
The night goes horribly.
Absolutely.
When I go in there and I go, well, they're going to hate me. Well, what can I do? I'm not going to change my act. I guess I just tell my jokes, and it goes freaking awesome.
Yeah, I think whenever I did a show, I would never base how I was going to do off of how the crowd looked. Mm-hmm. But as soon as the first comedian went up and told their set, I based my night off of how that crowd reacted to that first comedian set. Because I've had the same thing where a crowd comes in and they look like the business side of things, and they look like they may not take to my material all that well. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't know, and that's how I reacted in the beginning. But now I've gotten to the point where it doesn't matter how they look; it's what they find funny.
Yeah,
and that's why I kind of take peace off of not being the first comedian, but being after that way. I can be like, okay, say the same stuff, but just word it a little different or deliver it a little different. And I kind of let that first comedian be
the tester, the show them in the water, see exactly how hungry the sharks are. There's, and that's why this kind of question is kind of gray, because there's writing for an audience and there's playing to an audience.
Absolutely.
And I can write my material, but I can play it different from audience to audience to audience. My voice can change. My delivery can change.
Yeah.
If I say a joke in a certain way at this place, it's going to kill. If I say it sarcastically at this place, it's going to kill. Yeah. If I say it monotone and I'm just like this, and because of the way... Sometimes if you mirror their energy, as far as the crowd goes, sometimes
you guys seem dead.
It connects. Yeah, exactly. Or I've learned this a lot from hosting. Your energy impacts them, especially when you're the first guy out there. Your energy impacts them so greatly, so greatly. I so many shows with killer lineups, and the first person is the wrong person to go on. Yeah. It will change the entire show. Because then you know what I mean? The audience will just suddenly be, okay, well, I'm a little skittish, I'm a little iffy about this now. You get someone who comes out there and they're strong, then all of a sudden, hey, this is exciting and I'm looking forward to a great show. So then that next guy has somewhere to sort of jump off of. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's not digging out of a hole to get that crowd up there.
Yeah. I think the one thing that kind of bugged me about hosting was that there were some hosts that would go up, open the show, introduce the first act, and then walk off stage and come to the back of the room and be upset because they didn't kill. It's you're the first guy out.
Yeah,
you introduced them to everybody else. If you did good, cool. If you sucked, it's okay. We still have a whole show to win them. Don't take that as oh, the show's gonna suck. Mm-hmm. Just take that and you didn't get them prepped up. But
this next guy will.
Yeah, but they're facing the front of the room. Mm-hmm. That's half the battle. Let the first comedian come in and kind of swing. If he still strikes out, then get back up there and let's take another.
Well, and that's the confusing part of being a host. The better you are as a host, the less of a reaction you're going to get from the crowd. As far as doing well, you can go up there and do well and not kill.
Yeah.
You get them in the mood to laugh. The host sucks because you're not going to kill, and you're not supposed to kill. Right. But you don't get that reaction when you perform as a guest or a feature or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think hosting is a host is the foreplay of the comedy world, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're, and I think part of it is that when an audience gets there, most audiences won't know that the host is a comedian also. They think in their brain, I don't think they're like really ready. They're waiting for the first comedian, and all you're doing is kind of heating that oven, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, most people do assume the guy hosting or emceeing is like the owner or manager of the place or something like that. Maybe a musician or something that works the place a lot, and they're going to try and tell a couple of their street jokes before these professionals get up. And so, no matter what, as a host, you are in that position. And as a host, you, above all people, should be playing to the crowd.
Yeah.
We were just talking about when you stepped out, the difference between writing for a crowd and playing to a crowd. And as a host, you really have to put your ego in check and put it back there. And as long as the crowd is excited and the show keeps going, you're going to be in between comics. People are going to talk over you. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Sorry to disappoint.
People are going to use the bathroom. People are going to get up and get a drink and those kind of things. That's the reason you're there. You're filling the dead air that people are using to go do these things for the next comic.
Yeah. Some people will start the show and end the show in their seat the whole time. But if there's a bar president, realize that you're probably going to be the commercial break.
Absolutely. That's exactly what you are. You're the commercial break. Yeah. As a host, that's exactly what you are.
Right. And that's just something you got to take on the chin, because on the poster, you had all these other comics and then hosted by you. The crowd is going to see you about 4 or 5 more times throughout the night. They're only going to see this guy once. Let him do his thing. And then if they miss one of your bits or one of your segments...
And that's a good point, too. The crowd is going to see you over and over and over again. There's no freaking reason to sit up there for 10 minutes in between each comic.
Right.
To go up there for 5 minutes in between each comic. You just, thanks a lot. Oh, the crowd's great. Here's your next comic. Right. Oh, that guy, the last one kind of pissed him off. Let's tell 2 jokes. Okay, you're good again? Okay, let's go.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's it. You drive the show. You're not the guy in the limo. You're the driver.
Exactly. And if anything, your position as a host is you see the other comic get finished, you go up, you relieve him. Hey, wasn't that something? You keep it going for him, and you kind of
you move
keep
it along.
the ride running. That way, if somebody else in the back sees that other comic is on his way off stage, they can go back and get the next guy and be like, hey, Jim's getting ready to prep you up, so make sure to be on the lookout. That way you're not outside having a cigarette break or in the bathroom.
Well, and that's another thing that's on comics, too. God. I tell you, oh my God, I shouldn't share that story right now, but that was...
I'll share my story.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I started this show called the Bugtown Comedy Showcase, right? You did it, and I think it was the second one that I did. I had Austin was going up, and I told him to do 15 minutes. And at about the maybe 8-minute mark, I went outside to smoke a cigarette, thinking like, "Oh, I'll have plenty of time. This is going to take me 2 or 3 minutes, not 7 minutes." And somebody came outside, and they're like, "Hey, Austin's done." So I threw down my cigarette. He ended up doing like 11 and a half or 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I looked like a big old dummy.
Yep. I've had to do that before. It was all Austin's fault. Yeah. I've done that once or twice at the Laugh Hard. Yeah. I don't think I've done it at a show. There's been a couple of times where I'm like, okay, especially if I'm hosting, okay, this guy's on, I've got plenty of time, I'll step out to have a cigarette. And then I come back in and someone's like, hey, he was yelling about you, he was doing a joke on you or something like, shit, I should have been in here, I should have waited, damn it.
Now, you said that your love for comedy has been kind of lifelong. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you say that there was anybody in your family or a friend in particular that really kind of stoked that fire, or was it kind of self-produced?
My family.
Yeah.
Like most of my family. My dad, especially. My mom was always a joker, but she was only in my life till I was 12, and but I mean, it made a huge impact. look, both sides of my family, my mom's and dad's side of the family, were all jokers. They were kind of from different worlds. My mom's side of the family were all like farmers and hicks, and my dad, they were all kind of, they weren't wealthy, but they were, you know,
City
they
slickers.
put in a lot of work, but it was city slicker, and they're looking to, you know, make the dough and live nice. You know what I mean? And these guys are just looking to get by and survive. You know what I mean? And both worlds have a lot of humor. My Uncle Tuffy, my mom's
Great name, by the way.
huh?
Great
Yeah,
name.
Uncle Tuffy.
Yeah.
He was my mom's brother-in-law, my aunt's, my cousin's, anyway, parents.
Yeah.
But he wasn't like blood, but
He was married.
Wait, hold on, I don't know.
he was my aunt's husband, my cousin's dad. To me, he was my Uncle Tuffy.
Are you following it home?
He was there. Yeah, it's sorry. I'm just
at
saying he
home are
wasn't my
charting
mom's
this out.
brother or my
He
dad's
wasn't-
brother. He was
he
an
wasn't
in-law.
blood, but he was your
anyway. That guy was he was a big part of it, because that every time you see him, we would go fishing all the time, and we go camping for weekends. My dad and my mom's side of the family all had pitched in, and we had this place out in Hillsdale on the Rock River, little cabin, little lot there, and we would go out there every weekend and go fishing and spend the whole weekend out there. It was a great time. My Uncle Tuffy, all weekend long, would tell joke after joke after joke after joke after joke after joke, and not a single one of them would be the same.
Yeah.
And it would go on every single weekend, and the entire year he would not tell the same joke. He would tell, it was just always, and he would just bring something up. He'd be sitting there talking about anything. It was sausage. Oh, I tell you about that girl who's, you know, he was. He always had a joke, and it was something that I absolutely loved. And he had the greatest laugh, and he was a huge inspiration to me as far as seeing the impact humor has on the people around you, and how much he was loved. Not just because he told jokes, but because he was honestly that person. He was always very caring, and he always wanted people smiling more than anything.
Absolutely.
And that was a trait that I really admired and took on. And like I said, my parents were always hilarious. They're always joking. My dad's always been a partier, so have I. There's so much to this that is just feels like perfect for me. But because where else can you get paid to hang out with people? You know. You get to drink and tell jokes. You get to write silly, goofy shit. You know, whether it's sketches or.
I would say that I agree with you there in the fact that I've seen you at like the after parties and hanging out with everybody. Mm-hmm. You've never been the guy that's been hanging off the chandelier or like running and jumping off the bar, but you're definitely the guy that's hanging with everybody else.
Yeah.
Going, you should definitely hang off that chandelier.
Yeah. I've embarrassed myself on enough chandeliers. Not meeting you guys till I was 32 at least. So
now you've matured to the guy that peer pressures other
right,
people.
Exactly. You know, it would be awesome.
you know what nobody's done since the last time I did it.
As far as you know, yeah.
Exactly.
It is nice to have you at shows, though. I was talking with Jen Cool, another local comedian, and we were just talking about how there's so many comics that they're, and this isn't a bad thing, this isn't a criticism, but they're different on stage than they are like in real life, you know? Like maybe really funny people, but when you get them off stage, they're kind of awkward, socially, like just not really there. But you're the same person on stage as you're off. Like you like to have a good time, you know, you'll talk to anybody, which I've always kind of admired because it's weird, man. I can imagine like being an audience member and wanting to tell somebody like, "Oh, I like your stuff," and they can't even keep eye contact with you because they're just like so.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, but you were so funny on stage. Why can't you just talk to me?
Right.
You know.
No, and that's like I said, my whole life. Why be any different up there? And that, something I always feared as far as becoming a comedian, because that's the difference. Like most of us, most people, most human beings are funny people.
Yeah.
You know, and they always want to laugh and smile and have a good time.
And some